Okay, George, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I
What's
can
going
hear
on?
you now.
Yeah, it's some kind of delay. I don't know. It's my computer. I
Okay.
need to get a
I
new
just
one.
wanted
It
to
keeps
make
having.
sure.
Yeah. Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man always Jordan Page, aka the Emperor of Peanut Butter Talk. Come to you live on YouTube. Can you believe first? It is the last day of January. I mean, we're just about another month into 2025. Next month is a big month, Black History Month, celebrated, and being black is a great celebration. And also another holiday, a holiday for suckers called Valentine's Day. So what's the point of it? It's a woman's holiday. You just get the same old day every day of the year. So but my woman was my mom, and that I got something for Valentine's Day because that was my woman. I missed her. I love her. So anyway, folks, here I have a lovely lady. She is a IFBB pro physique competitor. She has not competed since 2021, and
2021.
yes,
2020.
and she's also a trainer, also a nutritionist. We have here the lovely Mrs. Janet Bloodworth, and we welcome her. We've been in contact for a bit, and we've been trying to get on here. I know she got a life; she's busy, but it's great when I get opportunity to talk to any ladies in this sport of bodybuilding. So, welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very appreciative to be asked to do your show. You do have a following, and you do like to interview different ladies, whether we're pro, amateur, or not even competitors. So I do appreciate you asking me. I'm very honored. I haven't done an interview in
No,
a
ma'am.
while, so I'm a little nervous.
What? Well, don't be nervous. And the honor is mine because, like I said, I like to reach out to you, ladies. I like to give you aspects and stories of how you start bodybuilding. So, this is the first question: how did you
Okay.
start in this sport, as I call it,
How
muscle and
did,
masculinity? Please share.
okay. I don't have a problem sharing how I started. It was back in December of 2017. And actually, it's a little rewind that a little bit. I'll try not to go squirrel on you. Sometimes I'm like squirrel. So, but back in 17, I took a look in the mirror and got on the scale, and I didn't like what I saw, and had been partying a lot and put on a lot of weight. And I'm like, something's got to give. So a friend of mine who was an NPC competitor, she's like, Janet, you should go into bodybuilding. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, right. Then she's like, I dare you. And so she dared me, and I don't like to be dared. So getting into fast forward December 4th, 2017, I woke up at 3:45 a.m., got up and did my fasted cardio, packed my food, went to the gym. I had an elliptical at my house, so it being December in Atlanta, it can be hit or miss with the weather being cold. And so I went ahead and got that out of the way, and then went to the gym, met with my trainer at that time, who was Ed Bowen at Gold's in Lawrenceville. And we went from there, and I trained with him 4 days a week. And I took Sundays off, and the other 2 days I would do his classes. I would do the boot camp type classes, which kicked my butt. So gradually over time, going into January of 18, my coach at the time was Mary Ray Kane, and she was very strict coach. And I felt like I needed, in order to, how do I say it, save myself from myself, I needed to get into something where I knew I had to be disciplined. It's like you had to be on the holy grail. You couldn't, there was no shortcuts. There's no, oh, maybe I'll miss this workout, or I'll miss this diet, this part of the diet, you eat by 7 a.m. and it's every 3 hours going into the evening. So 6 times a day. And I felt like I'm going to challenge myself. I want to get healthier. I want to lose weight. And I'm a former athlete. I mean, I grew up in middle Georgia and I played softball. I swam on the swim team. I ran track. I did cheerleading a little bit. Played basketball. I've always been an athlete and I'm like, I can do this. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, a lot of ladies have that path, how they got into it, because athletic background, especially some ladies who, after a long time, because I played football when I was in high school, and played a little baseball when I was younger, and we get out of that regiment of training, working out, you get into the real world when you start working and you don't have time to go work out or plan a diet, you just eat as you go. I can tell you it's tough, changing your life and then try to find the courage to say, you know what, I'm gonna get back in the gym, I'm gonna work out and train.
Oh yeah, and during that time did hair for 20 years. I was a stylist behind the chair, and that's rough on your body too. And so, like you said, if you didn't prep your food at home and brought it with you to work, what are you doing? You're who's placing the order? Which stylist is going to go get us lunch today? Fast food this, fast food that, and over time, you're looking at yourself, and I was in a bad place. I was just in a really bad place, and getting into the world of bodybuilding, which has its pros and cons. It At that time, I feel like it saved my life, and I still feel like it it does. Because even though I don't compete anymore, I still prep my food on Sundays. I still eat clean. Now I'll eat a cheat meal now and then. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the strict diet extreme when you're competing, but you can't. Once you get in that mode, it's hard to get away from it. And so I still have that routine of I want to eat my food. Not every 3 hours. I don't eat 6 times a day. I probably eat about 4 or 5, if it 4, maybe 5. And so, it's just I'm in that realm, but it's not the extreme. So
Yeah, yeah, because bodybuilding is a stream lifestyle because you're changing, for one thing, especially for y'all women, you're changing the aspects of your body. The always the debate when women in bodybuilding is a femininity thing. How you gain its muscle, and those people don't think women should have muscle. But even just in anything, you don't take more than just you don't have to be a top bodybuilder. You just go and train and work out. Just keep yourself in shape. I understand like changing habits because one thing is I am a fat man. I know that, but I was a lot bigger before. I was almost 500 pounds at one point because I was taking care of my mom and almost responsibilities of that and taking care of her stuff and just eating just because it's comfort or just eating something because it's there. But then you make those changes. Those are the hard part about it. I'm not perfect, like I said. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. Like today, I went to do laundry, came back, I had a pizza. I could, just wanted something. But people need to understand that there's a lot of work to this, and also a lot of commitment and consistency, and everything that's involved in it. Oh, we got here one of my followers. My man is his name. You got to watch out here. My man, Balls Deep. He says, "What up and salute." Yeah, that's his name. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." He's talking to you, not me. He says
thank
also, Chicago in here. That's his Monica. He also says, smash that like button. All right. And also he says, peace and blessings, beautiful. And his last one he likes to say, he says, Schmo gang, 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 gang. I don't remember, I know. And you appreciate you balls deep. So what was that first show and what was that like for you when you were on stage?
okay, the first show was April 14th, 2018. Crazy how I remember all this. Um, and it was a non-sanctioned show. Actually, Mary at the time uh, lived in Columbus, and they would do the Kane Classic, and the proceeds would go to her charity of choice. I can't remember the name of the charity, but it was for a good cause. So that was my first show, and I did figure and I did physique, and everything on stage. I don't want to. It's like I blacked out, but I didn't black out. Of course, I didn't fall down or anything like that, but I just got everybody in the audience was a blank. And because I was so nervous, because I'm sitting here going from figure, trying to do figure, and then trying to go to physique, and realistically, how to do the posing and everything just went whoosh, over my head. So I winged it. And my posing routine for physique, I just made up the rest of it at the end because I was so scared. And I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot up here on stage. But after that show, got the feedback from the judges, and that's where I met marvelous Margie Martin. She was a judge, and she literally took the time to speak with me after the show. And she was like, girl, your conditioning was sick. It was like you were so on point with your conditioning. And I was very, very, very lean. And she said, but, she gave me pointers, how to adjust my suit. She told me I needed to polish up my posing. And her and I are still friends today. So.
Well, that's great. Margie Martin, I'm a fan of hers. I think she has a beautiful physique, great lady. She served our country in the United States Marine Corps.
Yes,
I don't say, anytime who's something like I had my oldest niece and my youngest nephew was in the Army, and I don't say thank you for your service because you're not providing a service. I would say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice they have made for this country. That's, I think, is more important than the sacrifice you made. And Margie is just a top level competitor, 2-time wrestling champion, multiple time Olympic competitor. It's good to get that feedback. And she had that friendship because she retired in 2022. I wouldn't mind seeing her come back, but I understand that she's move on with her life.
We keep in touch. That matter of the fact, the other day, she sent me. No, I saw a post that she did, and I hearted it, and I said, "I miss you," and she's like, "I miss you too." So,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
but we keep. We
oh.
appreciate that. She's a great lady. She's a great lady.
That's
Yeah, and
yeah,
also,
that's good.
so,
That's good. That's good to have still good friendships with someone like that. And
yeah,
the thing about bodybuilding, some people look at the sport because it's very competitive. And
it,
you, yeah, and you and Margie in different divisions. Margie wins bodybuilding, you're physique. So when you made the switch from figure physique, what was the reason why you did it, and which one you preferred more when you were competing?
I enjoyed physique with the way you had to do the posing. My brain just went.
That's all
Uh,
right.
your
Take a moment. She's the clip.
mandatories, your mandatories, and then your back double bicep, your front double bicep, your chest, try abs. You can tell I haven't done this in a while, and but I hated wearing the high heels. I really hated the heels, and I loved doing a routine. I enjoyed having a routine to music, and because I loved performing that. To me, it was just it was more comfortable being in physique versus figure. Figure, you go out there, it's like bikini, and you do your quarter turns, you do your all that, and then physique, I mean, you do your quarter turns, then you do your mandatories, and then you get to do a routine, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I know I've interviewed quite ladies who started out in one division, another, especially figures, that division started to evolve a lot. Look at it now. Some of those girls look like the women when physique first came out. And I know they told me that, yeah, they get tired of those high heels. You know, you got to wear. I mean, I've heard stories where somebody said to take a blow dry so you can loosen them up so you can get them off your feet. You know, and some ladies love their high heels. I know ladies who told me that sometimes she'd be on stairmats on hers. But like I said,
Or,
every hmm, what?
oh my God. More power to her. There's no way I can do that.
I know they just they like it. And, you know, one of my jobs, I used to work at a strip club, and you know, and high heels. That's the thing. You have to wear them because they were like the certain look, you know. But everybody evolved in their own rate, in their own way, and you got to find the thing that works with you. That especially as your physique evolves, as you grow. And like I said, some ladies they love the posing. Also, let's say again, they love being barefoot. You don't have to worry about heels anymore, and you get to do more movement. Like with divisions like with figure, I get a little more because you know those ladies they have great muscle aesthetics. Bikini, I'm sorry, because it's
It's
you know
okay. It's okay.
yeah, I've done every single competing
It's a tough
competitors.
division. It's one of the biggest divisions.
Yeah, I think I was talking to a lady who I'm confronting with. She was at Universe last year. It's at 600 bikini competitors.
I don't doubt it.
And yeah, and I'm to next week. I'm got an interview lady who earned her pro card at the universe. I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, we have here shout out to Donald Collins. You know, welcome Donald. Give me a second. He says she is gorgeous and love her smile. Thank you, Donald, brother. Thank you. It's
Thank you.
my man Ward 2000. He says, get a second because it's not 6 hours. Good evening, folks. Thank you, brother. And also we have Chris Barley. He says, hey, Janet. And he's doing a little flex. So thank you, brother. So yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Hey, I just Janet, like I'm like this. When I get a girl on here, a new lady on here, it's like the episode of Chappelle Show when when Charlie Murphy meets Rick James, and not Rick James, when Charlie Murphy meets Prince, and Prince hanging on a guy named the guy named Nikki P. Shamar said, "Yo, George got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker." These guys get excited when I get a lady on here. So now you turned pro in 2019. Now,
Yes.
what was the show and what was that experience like for you when you officially now they say now you're IFB pro?
What was that again?
What was that feeling like for you when they say officially you're now IFB pro?
At that moment, it was exciting. It was very exciting. Mary was there, and I don't know. It's crazy. It was like a dream too. It was just like, really? Okay. So it had, because you're NPC and you're competing in all these shows to get qualified to go to like a national show to try to go get your pro card. And, I was so new to the game and everything. So yeah, I was like a little kid and I got all excited and still, didn't, I was like, wow, this really happened. And being an IFBB pro now, and that's one of my necklaces. I have my pro card. It says IFBB, and I have my little trophy upstairs and my big, huge blue IFBB card that I got. They gave me when I was on stage, and people will come up to me and like they'll see the card and they'll go, "Oh, you're IFBB," and I was like, "I'm a former IFBB competitor. I don't compete anymore." I'm very humble because people do stop me in the gym. And, I had a lady stop me in the gym this morning, on the Stairmaster. And so I take my earbuds out. I'm like, "May I help you?" And she goes, "Oh my God, how long do you have to do that to get legs like that?" And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "This is just for my heart, for my cardio." I said, "But it's a lot of weights." Doing a lot of weight training. But, I appreciate when people come up to me and they're almost like some of them are like, "Oh wow, you're IFBB pro," and it's just a hug and it's to me it's a part of normal day life. I mean, I'm not really going out promoting myself. that's why I was very appreciative when you asked me on your show, because I'm not one of the high tier people, IFBB pros. I'm not a well known IFBB pro. I'm a bodybuilder who maintains, who still wants to look good and, and stay healthy. And, so it's very humbling to the attention that I do get, but nobody really knows who I am. Does that make sense? I'm not Andrea Shaw. I'm not Martin. I'm not Janine. These women are in the Olympia. These women are very well known. Um, but and I have a gorgeous friend also too, who she still competes, and she went from physique to women's bodybuilding. She's IFBB pro, and I support her. I support all my friends who still compete. But when they get that, they're bigger than they really get attention. I can't speak for them, but as for me being an IFBB pro, I appreciate it. I,
Give it a
I,
second. We might have a second.
and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Well, with my channel, it's about giving attention to any ladies who do this sport, not just IFB pros, even ladies who are amateurs, ladies in other organizations. And it's about recognizing your commitment and passion for this sport. And, I would love to have Andrea Shaw on here one of these days. I'm a fan of Andrea's. Just amazing lady. She's kind of changed. I found this while I was doing, as you know, as I always try to do, I try to research about anybody, find information. And I found this picture here of her, and it's her, Andrea in the middle. Andrea is my girlfriend. So I
She's
think
very
she's so,
sweet. She's very
she,
sweet person.
this is a true story. A friend of mine, Eunice, she was at the Olympia back in 2023. I always want to bring this out because this is like, as you know, I showed you earlier, my other personality. He often says this. He says, if you're good at something, and he says, never do it for free. And this is what, when I do this stuff, and this is my payment for me personally. When someone like Andrea, who never met me or never saw me, or maybe heard about me here and there, we takes time and she signs this, and that is, you can see right here. She telling me that how much she appreciates my support. You are the best, and and love you, and I love her too. I know I need to put this in a case or something, but I love it and hug it. I call it joy. I can't help myself. I know,
You
but she's
should
just
go
so
to it.
beautiful.
She's going to be. That was Chicago Pro. That picture was Chicago Pro in Atlanta in 2021, and
Hmm.
she was there. She's usually at a lot of the shows, and I walked up to her and I said, "May I please have a picture with you?" And she was so sweet and took that picture.
I often people say how sweet she is. I know people who know her, work with her. I mean, she's just a sweet person. I think she's the woman that kind of turn around women's bodybuilding. When it was kicked out of shows like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, got kicked out of Olympia, and here comes a guy like Jake Wood. Every time I say his name, I can't help it. It's my Denzel from Training Day. Yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it. Every time I say his name, I know a lot of guys named Jake. And she brought something, I think, where people were like demonizing like someone like Iris Kyle, while women's bodybuilding changed. But here comes, Andrea bringing this great look, great muscle, great femininity, just amazing. Here, this is from a man, Warrior 2000 says, Miss Janet, great to have you on the channel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, he says, that Chappelle show skit joke is overdone, George. Probably work on some new material. Just say, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. This is I do this shit. Me, big 5 foot. I don't change anything for another man with gotta say. So you don't like it, Warrior? You can do that. Warrior's my man. He comes down here. We always picking up. But one thing I do, like I said again, as one of my quotes for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, Rob Ragul talked to Batman says, Bruce Wayne says, "Beware surroundings of all time, Master Wayne. Never get your feeling what can blow." So I'm often aware of my surroundings. So I got this little video, folks, and you want to check it out? I'm going to pull it up here, and it is Janet, talking to Christian Dukes. Christian Dukes. He does a lot of the shows in the Midwest and around the South.
Oh,
Great guy.
wow. That's a
And
flashback.
it's her, yeah, it's her doing the interview after getting the pro card. So we're gonna play it here.
Collegiate Masters Nationals. I'm here with Janet Bloodworth, new IFBB Pro. How are you, Janet?
Ecstatic right now and overwhelmed and emotional and just very happy.
There you go. Now, Janet's got a very, very interesting history. She's only been involved in the sport for about a year and a half.
Year and a half since December of 2017.
Okay. And you're a former hairstylist about to go back?
Former hairstylist. I'm not going to go back behind the chair, but I'm going to be helping out with my husband who owns a lot of franchises with great clips for hair.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of people are going to go to the salons and they're not going to want to get their haircut. They're going to want to get your autograph, a picture, or something like that. They want to say, oh, my good friend Janet, you don't know her from a hole in the wall. But that's okay. That's part of being a star. So talk to us about this show. What were your impressions? Obviously, you got your pro card. You got high honors. But what was your impression of, the host hotel, the stage, the whole backstage experience?
The whole experience has been wonderful. It's one of the easiest shows that I've ever been in. And I've only been in 3. The four right. shows. And so the hotel's been great. The backstage was wonderful. Just the whole overall experience. I came here looking for an experience and I got it. And I got more than that. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So as a pro, I really believe that pros are ambassadors. They help bring more people to the sport. So if a lady sees this video and wants to compete, maybe lacks the self-confidence, maybe doesn't have the support from home, what would you tell her to follow her dream?
I'll tell you what, back in August of 2017, I was on the verge of a stroke, heart attack. I was 185 pounds. I made up my mind. I called Mary Ray Kane and I said, I need your help. And she started helping me with diet, and because she lives in Columbus, Georgia, I'm in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so we started talking back and forth. And
that's your coach, right?
That's my coach. And we went from there, and she's like, you need to compete. And I said, okay, let's go for it. So we went from there, and she said, you need to do masters. And I said, what? And she's like, you need to do masters. And I said, okay, we're going to do masters. So,
and now you're a pro.
And now I'm a pro.
And now you're a pro. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Well, finally, I really want to congratulate you on your big win. I'd like for your husband to come around, just jump over here. And I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us how proud you are of her.
Hey, I'm Mike Bloodworth, wonderful Janet's husband. Wonderful Janet husband. You know what I mean?
He's wonderful too.
I am so proud of this lady. It's been amazing.
You're gonna start crying.
It's been amazing to watch what she's done. The dedication, the enthusiasm, the inspiration she's been to other people. It's really amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are a beautiful couple. Congratulations to you. New IFBB Pro, Janet Bloodworth, Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com.
That is so sweet. He got to, your husband, Mike. And how long you and Mike been together?
14 years. 14 years. We've been together 14 years. That's made me cry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know it's like I said, excuse me, I know why it's my computer. There you go. Yeah. It's good that y'all to
that video.
We get you.
So, as you can tell, both of us weren't very good at being interviewed. It just, those feelings at that moment, it was surreal. So it was exciting. Yeah. Do I miss it? Yeah, I do. I miss competing.
Yeah. And just give them more folks like she want to get herself together because it's just because it is like I said. Well, like I said again, I always want to really highlight somebody when we have you on my channel. That's why a video something like that, I want to share it because it really will let people know who you are, where you come from. I mean, it's a lot of work to do the sport, especially for a woman. Because one thing I keep like this. It costs y'all ladies more to compete compared to the men. The guys got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it. Y'all ladies have to present both muscle and femininity. You have to have your hair and makeup done. You have to have your suits, which cost a good chunk of change right there.
Oh my God!
And Yeah, and there's so much evolving with because people don't understand. Like I said again, like we were talking earlier, when people go to shows and we see our competitors, we see these athletes who are just in top shape, y'all shredded, ripped, y'all vascular, y'all just look amazing. But we don't understand what took you to get there. Starvation, dehydration, sleepless nights, workout training, consistent diet. I mean, so much that's involved to get that level. You can't keep that look all year round. It's impossible to stay shredded.
You can't. You can't. And that's kind of that's hard when you look like a Greek god or goddess that shredded on stage, and even a couple weeks before and a couple weeks afterwards, even maybe a month afterward, you can't maintain it. But while you're still competing, that you're that next year, going into that next year, you're going to fine tune what you already have, and you can look that way again. But when you no longer compete, and you're not going into that next year, and you're not going to be that shredded, it messed with my head. It messed with my head. I saved all my pictures because sometimes I have to go back and look and just go, wow, I did that. You have to be very disciplined to do that. And it messed with my head. And sometimes now it's like, people are like, are you going to compete again? And I'm like, no. And sometimes I hesitate and they'll go, oh, are you going to compete? A lot of my girlfriends are like, Janet, please don't do it. Please, please, please don't do it. Because it's hard on the body. It's very hard on the body. I'm in a good place now. It took getting the end of 2021, going into 2022, going in, even 23, 24, you think, you're going, okay, maybe I want to do that again. And my husband's like, oh, please don't. That's so extreme. So it's like, 2 weeks before he'd leave, because you're in that hangry mode. And, but I would go to the shows and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to compete again. I went to Tampa Pro last year to support my girlfriends. And that's the first show that I went to that I sat there and I was able to be a spectator, and I was comfortable with it. So
yeah, it's tough, especially the work you put and time you put into the sport, and just to walk away from it. I know I just because you say you did Tampa. I know one lady who hadn't competed almost 10 years. That's Tina Chandler. She came back and she looked great. She did Atlanta first, and then she did Tampa, and she looked great. Especially she's been Olympic, a multi-time Olympic competitor herself. And I know friends you're talking about is Janine and another lady that was at the show. There's a picture of y'all together, and it's tough seeing that in back of your head. It's like with a fighter. Like you saw a while back, Mike Tyson came back. He fought Jake Paul. That was kind of disappointing, But it's just like I said, the sport has changed, has evolved. Here we got here from a man. Warrior says, you have to excuse George Janet. He gets all flustered and smitten over Andrea Shaw every time he's mentioned in his own way to or fashion. Hey, I can't help it. She's so beautiful. I can't help it. Yo. And also he says the he says like this, the romantic crush is real. Yes. Also we have here a Jay Gibson. He says fire. Appreciate you, Jay. And also, once more, we have another one from my warrior. Says, man, I tell you, that interviewer guy looks like Senator John Fetterman from the side. I ain't lying.
Are you talking about the video when my interview? Yeah, I thought the same thing at first. I was like, he looks like Fetterman.
Yeah, I know Christian. He does a lot of interviews. I don't think he mostly does a lot of stuff in the Midwest and in the South areas too. He don't do too much now like he used to. I think he might be cutting back, or I know he maybe not as active as that. But anyway, folks, what we're gonna do while we have Janet here, and if you want to follow her, her links are in the description of the live of this video. You want to check her out, you want to follow her, you want to reach out to her, support her, whatever, just click on the links, follow her. But here's the thing, I do this, Janet, as a disclaimer to any guys out there. Guys, this is a nice lady. She took time to talk with me, very respectful. Guys, no the pics. Stop it. Get some help. Don't do it. I mean, I tell you, I hear stories how guys, I know, like I said, I know I'm a muscle person, y'all ladies excite me, but I wouldn't want to see something that may be offensive like that. Some guys mistake like that. So, folks, we're going to jump into Janet's social media for a bit. You want to follow her? The links are in the description of this live stream. And here's some nice photos here. Like, this is right here wearing the red. When was this?
That was that was actually on the Las Vegas Strip in, when was that? It was June of 2023. And I did a photo shoot with a very well-known photographer in the industry, Sean Nelson.
I interviewed Sean a while back. He's a pretty good dude. He really gives me information.
He's a very good photographer. Very, very comfortable to work with. Those are my favorite pictures.
Yeah.
And that was right after. That was actually that was in September of 2021. And Eric Gomez did the photography. We were out there, and I was supposed to compete in. That's another one of my favorite pictures. You can see.
It's got mine too.
Eric did a great job. He was out there, and I was supposed to do Wings of Strength. I was supposed to compete, and that was the show right after Tampa Pro, and Tampa Pro is August of 2021. And
so you
feedback the judges in Tampa. There's my before and after. That on the left was December. Hey, I just did a squirrel on you. But anyways, and getting back to that, the judges gave me feedback that I needed to grow my legs. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, right there, I was supposed to grow my legs. So I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I have it in me anymore. So they talked me, I wouldn't say they talked me out of not doing Wings of Strength. That's Chicago Pro 2021. But I'm sitting here going, I'm flying out to Arizona. Still, I'm going to go watch the show. I'm probably going to do it in 2022. But at the same time, too, you know what? Not doing that show, I was able to learn a lot and see a lot, because I would have got my butt kicked in that show for sure, because these women in Physique, they were unbelievable. But also at the same time, I was able to help Janine. Janine was competing in Wings of Strength out there at that time, and I was able to be there for her and support her. So, there's Janine, there's Timbri. Things happen for a reason. It was meant for me to be more of a supporter of my friend Janine Lankowski.
Yeah, because you were planning to do the Arizona Pro, and Janine did the Rising Phoenix. Arizona Pro.
It was Rising Phoenix, not Wings of Strength. Rising Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rising Phoenix is the women's bodybuilding part, and the Arizona Pro is everybody else. Because that was brought in because it was right after the kick women's bodybuilding after the Olympia, and Jake created that show for women's bodybuilding, and then he expanded it by adding Arizona Pro and gave the opportunities to the other women in other divisions. Janet, she does actually tagged me in some of her videos, and this is one of them. We're gonna play it for you a bit. You want to listen to it? Here we go.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hope all you guys are well out there. I'm doing pretty good. Kind of laid low a little bit on Instagram. Haven't posted much. Haven't done a video in a very long time. And I haven't stayed off of social media. I've just laid low and read a lot of things, looked at a lot of things, took in a lot of things. And of course, those who follow me, you know, I'm an IFBB pro bodybuilder that no longer competes. And I still stay consistent in the gym and with my diet because I still want to be healthy and look good. But talking about healthy, that's another thing when you're almost near death approaching stage. That's another topic down the road if I decide to continue to do these videos. But there's a topic I came across on somebody else's page. They were asking people's opinion about once somebody gets their pro card, should they be able to keep it or not if they decide not to keep anymore? Well, that's kind of a touchy subject. It really doesn't pertain to me because they're talking about they'll give you 3 years to compete after you get your pro card, and if you don't compete after 3 years, then they're going to revoke it, and you'll have to go back down to NPC. Well, my take on it is I competed immediately after I got my pro card. I competed twice in 2020, and I competed twice in 2021. I almost competed in 2022, but after competing in the amateurs and in the pros for a total of 5 years, it takes a toll on your body. And I'm no famous bodybuilder. I'm not a great influencer by no means. I am certified in personal training and nutrition. Pisses me off sometimes because people want the silver bullet and they don't want to work for it. And that's where my point comes in. When you are either pro or amateur, you bust your ass to get where you want to be and need to be on stage. And I feel that if you go through the hell that you go through to get to that point, to be almost near death on stage, and you're that dehydrated, and you earn your pro card, I think you should be able to keep it, whether you compete again or not. That's just my opinion. And some of you may go, blah, blah, blah. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. But I really honestly think that pro or amateur, all of us, we put ourselves through hell mentally, physically, emotionally, and it's very hard. And it takes a really, really, I don't want to say crazy person, but we're kind of crazy to put ourselves through that. And there's only a few, and I'm not talking in the amateurs, I'm talking when you get to the pros. There's only a few that continue to profit off of it. Did I win in the pros? No, my first competition pro, I took dead last. And, but I kept trying. I wanted to see, did I improve? Yeah. It is what it is. And I thought about competing again, but now there's no place for me. I'm too small for women's physique, which was my category. I'm too big for bikini. I don't have the ass and the legs for wellness, and I'm even too small for figure. So why put myself through that hell and know I'm not going to win? So anyways, that's my take on the IFBB dilemma. And, comment if you want to. And I think I might start doing these little videos again. And when I'm ready, I may go live. Y'all have a great day. Take care.
Well, like I said, as you know, everybody's been kind of on the whole through the pro card thing. A lot of stuff is really, the rules are still, it's just the rules were there, but just now they enforce them more because some competitors are turning pro, but they are not competing as pro, and they're using that as their moniker, especially for business reasons. But you got some good pictures here. You look really good, especially for a lady of your years. I mean, I think a lot of people be inspired by what like it should be. You should be inspiration for anybody who really wants to decide to make get into a healthy lifestyle, especially into bodybuilding.
What's that?
Get into healthy lifestyle, especially get into bodybuilding.
Oh, the healthy lifestyle. We look like the picture perfect health up there, don't we? I look like an anatomy chart. Oh, that's a touchy subject. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like I said, I'm spoil on you. I have a bad habit of doing that. You go in prep. I'm gonna call it off-season prep. Okay, where you're trying to grow. Let me scroll you one time though. After the first year I did this, then I had to go back and like train. Start the off-season prep. And Mary goes, "You got to start eating like this, and you got to put more weight on." I was like, "What? No, I don't want to do that." But it was kind of funny because you're sitting here going, "You have to make the gains in order to shred and show the gains," if that makes sense. So, an off-season prep, you're eating around 3,000 calories. That's a lot of food for a woman. Some men can do it and they're fine with it, but me, I about puked a few times, and until I got used to it. And then you go into you pick where you're going to compete. What month are you going to start competing? What shows are you going to do? You start going into that prep where you're starting to cut. Now that's the thrill, the cutting. To me, that was I kind of got off on it. It was I'm just being real, and it was so great to watch your body transform doing that. And I'm sitting here going, "Wow, this is kind of freaky," But is it healthy? I'm not gonna say so much. No, it's not healthy. You are on death's door when you're about to compete. I saw people at shows being brought ambulance come in and they've been taken out on stretchers. They're so dehydrated. You're near death's door. I mean, even though after I got off stage, I knew where I placed, and I'm like, screw it, I'm drinking water. I went ahead and I started chugging water, and I'd go eat a loaded cheeseburger, some French fries. And I looked better after I ate than I was before being judged. I looked better afterwards, going back on stage that night. So, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you're training, you're working out, you're doing cardio. Is all that healthy? You're eating right. That's healthy. But you want to go ahead and ask me the question?
What's the other question?
You want to ask me the question? What's not healthy about it?
We all know it's always the issue is going to be steroids.
Yes.
And that's the thing. That's why I think it doesn't. Bodybuilders get a lot of support in the mainstream because steroids is always the issue with it. But here's the thing with steroids: it's almost in every sport, but it's so easy to pick on bodybuilding it is to pick on other sports.
Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't do it, because I did. There were off season. There was you call it gear. There's the gear you take to build muscle. Because us women naturally, we have a small amount of testosterone in our system, but we have an enormous amount of estrogen, and that's how we were made. You guys are opposite. You have estrogen, you have a lot of testosterone. So naturally, for a woman to build that kind of muscle, you had to take gear. And and then when you cut, you start taking cutting agents, but you're also minimizing your food intake. You're going from 3,000 calories down close to peak week, where you're only at 800 or 900 calories, and you're not doing carbs, hardly any carbs, very few carbs. And you're doing cardio out the wazoo. I was splitting up cardio, getting that cut to where we knew where we wanted me to be. I would be doing HIIT. I would be doing the Stairmaster. I was married to the Stairmaster. You know, you're married to the Stairmaster. So I'm not going to say it's healthy. Some people claim that there's the natural part of bodybuilding, there's natural shows and all that. I'm not going to sit here and say they're all natural or they're not all natural. That's not for me to judge. You know, that's not my position. But majority of these NPC shows, IFBB shows, I'm going to say gear's involved. It is. And if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't have a good coach that doesn't know what they're doing, it could be deadly.
Yeah, because I think gear is an important part of it. It's not the whole part of it, but you still have to stay on your training program, your regiments, your diets. Because I have people told me, said if everyday person take the gear I take, but they don't follow the program that's set for them, stay on the diet plan, work on your lifting, training, everything that's involved with it, you're not going to come out there looking like some of the top competitors, or even decent enough where you can place or you get a pro qualifier. Here we got my man, Warrior, shout to Warrior. He says, Bloodworth is such a awesome last name. Sound like a cool sci-fi action movie couple kicking butt in life. And and also this is from Chris Bartlett. Chris says, he says, it's an expensive sport, and now with social media, the pros aren't even that ones making the most money. And so he says this. He says, uh, as I'm sitting here heating a bowl of oatmeal and protein powder to get to my 500 calories. Right here we have my man KL the Wanderer coming through. Shout out to KL. He also does content on bodybuilding. He says hello, and today is his birthday. Happy birthday, brother! Happy birthday!
So let me ask you, that's Chris Bartlett that was commenting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris and I are friends on social media, and that man has an amazing physique, and he busts his butt in the gym. I'm trying not to cuss. I would say
that's all right.
But
go ahead, say
yeah,
no, I said it anyway.
F-bomb yet.
Don't worry about it. Hey, we're adults here. I'm an adult. I can put on later. I can put on the adult advisory so kids don't want to hear it. But yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna try something. My battery's starting to go. I'm gonna flip my phone so I can charge it this way. I hope we're not upside down if I do that. Hang on a minute. We'll do this.
Wait a minute. Give it more, folks.
Shoot. Oh shit! Hang on a minute.
Can you do it sideways? I think
I can probably. I don't know. Are we going to end up sideways? There we go. I want to do this. It won't do it. I can do this sideways. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, because sometimes.
Sorry.
don't worry about it. It's technical difficulties, folks. Give us a moment. We'll be
okay.
Right
hang
back.
on. Here we go. Now I got to plug in. There we go. Now I can plug in my phone.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's technology. It's always changing. It's always evolving. Here we got a comment for
dinosaur.
We got a comment from our man Chris. He says, "Thank you, Janet." And also this is from our man K. says, "Appreciate that." Yeah, brother. Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy meeting more. And also this is from my man Warrior 2000. Shout out to Warrior. He says, Chris Bartlett, I hate oatmeal, and you couldn't even pay me to eat a bowl of that oat mush mess. I am a plain on cereal type of guy, period. Yeah, I hadn't eaten oatmeal since I was maybe in not middle school, Head Start, never liked it. I mean, one time, my mom went home and we rather had grits, and oatmeal was just, I don't know about it so much. I don't even grits anymore. So, but yeah, there's so much involved in this sport. It's as you mentioned, like I said, if you consider coming back, then the problem is you wouldn't know where to go, because if you look at it now, women's bodybuilding, you wouldn't fit it because women's bodybuilding has changed. Even physique, if you look at the like top competitors at the Olympia, you look at people like Sarah Vilgas and Natalia Cuejo, Shanique Grant,
And she
she's doing
anymore.
she's doing wellness. She's prep for wellness.
Oh, she did.
And
She went down to wellness. Good for her.
yeah,
I haven't,
she's
I haven't
prepping.
seen it in a while.
Yeah, I'll see a photo. I think she posted a photo a while back. I sent it to you if I find it. But yeah, she's
Okay.
prepping for a wellness show. And if
Good.
you look at now, even in figures, Sig Gillen just retired last year after her last Olympia, and now you just heard Missy Trescott is planning on to make her debut in figure.
Yes, I saw that. That's going to be interesting. She has a great physique.
Yeah, I mentioned before because I think fitness has been around for a long time, and the look of it has evolved. It's the second oldest division in the IFBB for women's bodybuilding, female bodybuilding. And you look at people like Missy. I think it probably was a better move because I think now after that last injury from her last Olympia, the leg might not be still as well as it was before. Takes a while. I know legs who switch division because of an injury. Especially if you're doing fitness, because that's tough. That's a lot of jumping around. Chicken's what you got to do.
That's very tough. It's a very tough division. It amazes me the way they do all those acrobatics and then still come out in those heels and pose. And that's the toughest division.
Yeah, it's tough because I think at that Olympia 2023, Missy, tore her knee. Whitney Jones, she pulled her shoulder. I was watching one lady I follow. Her name is Tamara Vaughn. She was at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And she kind of fell and she had like a scar across her head and her nose. I also heard that Erica Deer skipped Olympia last year because she was dealing with some kind of issue she had before. But any sport is tough for any athlete. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of risk to it, but little reward, especially when it comes to, money. As when you're pro, unless you're the top competitors where you're making the money, you win in first place. You look at the Samson Dew walk away is almost with $500,000, in a car and this and that. But for y'all ladies, if you're lucky enough, if you do a show and get something like maybe $2,000 or $3,000. And then you got to think about the cost of traveling to the show, the cost of paying for your hair and makeup,
And you also, I did this for Mary. And then my last coach who I used was Trey Hodge. I love Trey to death. Where I'm still friends with Mary. I'm still friends with Trey. Trey and I keep in touch. He's a good guy. Love him to death. He's a chiropractor also. Great person. Where was I going?
Go ahead, you get it. We're patient.
You're talking about I was talking about. You also pay for your coach. At least I did. I paid for my coach to come see me, to be with me at my competition. That's another expense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to think about it. That is a lot of money because I know a friend of mine, her coach, her husband, they did the Masters Olympia in Romania, and it was like counting them together. That it was a little. Nearly $30,000 just the flight alone because you weren't always Romania. It wasn't too expensive when you got there because it's reasonable, but just to cover him and her and her husband, that was a lot of money. And now she's planning on going to the Master in Japan this summer. Here we got a comment from Warrior. Shout out to Warrior. He says, not a fan of Sarah Vilgas and Natalia Cuejo. Man, however, they bring crazy physiques, no doubt about it. Yeah. But like I said again, the sport has evolved. And I think one thing we talk about is how they don't like we now know there's a new fit model division.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Instead of here's the thing is you bring in another division that's going to evolve. Remember when bikini started, those women look, like the bikini girls you see like a White Tropic or something like that. Now they look more like early figure competitors or even early female bodybuilders. Mm-hmm. And you talk about look at figure. You say too big for figure, how it's evolved. You look at people like, you got people like Jessica Reyes Padilla, you got Lola Montez, you had those women are now who are probably in line for the title that Sid has vacated. And then you look at the physique division. You go from anytime I ask a lady, who's your favorite? Who's the lady you really a fan of? They tell me Daylene Bailey because she was the first physique champion.
She was.
Yeah, but then somebody I might have every now and then I might get Julia McCarr, who was the second champion, who has the most titles. She
Oh,
just
she was
now,
for her too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she tied with now Sarah tied for her record. And you look at Sarah because everybody's chasing after that look. Now, if Shanique had stayed and was champion, they would stick with that look, what she had, very feminine, great lines. She was a freaking competitor just like Natalia. But here's the thing: is the problem not with the competitors, the problem with the judges. They're the ones who supposed to follow. Those are the guidelines and rules that were set and put before them. They supposed to stick with it. If you see, like a lady I did an interview at back, her name is Robbie. She posted how when the fit model, division came out. She posted it on her IG. I got it on my IG. I shared it, and she said like, if you see striations and glutes, and you're supposed to see it in that division, and rewarding that, then you're not following the rules that was set for that division.
I
And
agree.
that's why see some ladies crossing over from physique to women's bodybuilding, from figure to physique.
I I agree. Me and Janine used to talk about this when we would go through our posing sessions. I would, I would FaceTime with her. We would pose because I was in Atlanta. Now I'm in Tampa. Janine's here in Tampa, and and I would travel to see Janine, and we'll go eat lunch, and we'll hung out a little bit. But she's a busy woman, training a lot
I
of
know.
people, and so we talked about that, about the guidelines and why women's physique was created and why bikini was created and why figure, and then wellness that took off. Holy cow, that's all about ass and legs. I mean, geez Louise. But it's these judges, and I'm not going to name the names, but there's a male who he wants to see us almost on death's door. Okay.
I think I know who
And
you're
you know
talking
who I'm
about.
talking about.
Yes. And funny thing about his wife was the one who kind of changed the sport.
Yes. Yes.
So he shouldn't be talking. His ex-wife now, she's not
Yes.
together
Yeah.
anymore yet. So.
And then there's a female judge who wants to stick within the guidelines, and she wants to see the feminine part of the sport. She wants to see the femininity. She doesn't want to see you on death's door. So me switching from Mary to Trey when I was very, very, very lean, real lean with Mary. So me and Trey had a strategy to talk about, okay, soften me up a little bit. Okay. Still see the lines and everything, but don't be as so lean as I was. So after Chicago Pro, the judges, they're like, Janet, you're not lean enough. I have never been told that. That was a shocker. So me and Trey talked, and I have 2 weeks to get ready, 2 weeks to shred. And you're talking about unhealthy. I had 2 weeks to shred 20 pounds to do Tampa Pro. And I did it. I killed myself, starving myself, killed myself on cardio. But I came in with the lines and the striations, and I was lean. And I took 7th place in Masters. So.
7th place in
Like,
Masters,
about 20 pounds in 2 weeks. And you're talking cutting the water, and you're talking no carbs, and you're talking, yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, because it's tough, 'cause especially for women. Women have a higher BMI than men. It'll take long for us to drop weight because our bodies, because of testosterone, our bodies are made to build muscle. Women, y'all supposed to be the nurturers, you carry our children, you're supposed to be soft, feminine, round, but that's a really risk because that's risking your health, your life. But that's the thing is, if you're determined enough, and especially you want to get that top level, you have to be able to put in that work, or has a quote from my man Rocky, it doesn't matter how hard you hit, it's how hard you take the hits and keep moving forward. We have a comment here from my man KL. Says, Janet, have you ever been approached by a producer to make video sessions or sessions It says, you ever been approached about, because you do a lot of videos and picture stuff. You ever been approached about sessions and stuff like that?
Can you specify a little bit more, like what kind, like posing sessions or
Posing sessions, the sessions like the guys want to, wrestle with the ladies, stuff like that,
Oh my
That's what
God,
he's.
my inbox on Instagram, I get hit up all the time with not from a regular, an actual producer, but I get hit up. Some guys are like, "Can I wrestle you? I want to wrestle you. I'll pay to wrestle you." No, but I did receive a notification, an email from a local magazine here in Tampa. They want to interview me, so I'm very excited about that too. So I have to fill out their questionnaire, and they want some updated photos. And so I told my husband, I was like, "You're gonna have to take some more pictures of me." He's like, "Really?" So I'm excited about that. And because last time I did a questionnaire with an interview with a magazine was Status Magazine, which was in 2022. I was published in Status Magazine. So
That's pretty cool. I know,
that's
like,
pretty cool.
yeah, because like thing is, there is a very fetish to, especially with muscle. And I said again, I am a muscle person. No, I just find your ladies intoxicating, just something different. Because when I was younger, my brother used to play football here in our hometown. He used to get the muscle mags, and that was a time when guys like Lee Haney, Lee Labrada, you had also those guys coming up bodybuilding, Dorian Yates. As a kid, you remember the biggest cartoon at the time was He-Man and Thundercats, those muscle characters like that. But then y'all women, something about y'all just, especially when I was getting to my pubescent age, getting to teenage years, and some of y'all women just kind of just draw me. I mean, I just, something about y'all was just something different. And it's just, there is that fetish to it because that's what it calls guys schmoes. Some people don't find women appealing. There's always that comments, ladies I talk to say like, "Oh, she's trying to be man, yeah, yeah, yeah." But the fact is, you're an athlete. You train, you work hard. You can never be a man. Never. That's a state of mind. Not physical so much. It's a state of mind. And people need to understand that. Because this is one thing I tell ladies, they say, I don't do it for the money. They do it because they love the sport, it's passionate about it, and they love to train and build their bodies. And it's not for everybody, but there is all those guys who do. There's a smoke saying, when your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard, and that's just, that's the thing. But it's just a different look when you see compared to the everyday woman. Here we got a comment from my man K.A. says, "Leave the fit model alone, George, making things dramatic. Who cares about what they are?" And shout out to our man Warren for backing me up. Says, "Fit model division. Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind
Just
of
saw it."
curious to see how that's going to go, because I was reading on another person's page who, the woman's an IFBB pro, and she said, really, you can take any beach body, hot body in a bikini off the beach and put her on stage. And, do we know that she went through the hell that all of us pretty much go through to get to that point to be on stage? And that's kind of the controversy about that right now. And I mean, more power to them. Maybe that might be my new field. No, I'm kidding.
I think what it is it's mostly it's trying to get more mainstream attention. It's a money grab. Betty Parisa recently just did her own thing. It's called I think it's Beach Body, where she's doing stuff like curvy dress, nightgowns like that. Basically, how one lady told me, basic bitches. That's what she's doing. She's doing, but still again about bodybuilding, it's just a very extreme sport for some people, especially you don't, like I said, I follow your ladies, but also I follow the sport. And I pay attention to what's going on, like stuff that I've seen and heard. And like I said, I keep saying there's so much risk but little reward. But you don't do it for the reward. You do it because you found something that you're passionate about. Time you put in, the work you put in. We got a comment from my man Warrior says, Yisha Ayala, wellness athlete. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I heard of her a couple of times. I actually interviewed a lady who turned pro a while back, and her and Yisha were doing Bulgarian split squats together. He's Bulgarian, and Yisha's Puerto Rican. So here we have here from Watch Johnson. The female judge happens to be blonde, Janet, that you're referring to. We're not going to make no comment on that. Also, this is for Chris Bartlett. It says, "Sorry, Janet, got to step out and get some work done. You are killing it. Thank you, Mr. Bartlett. Appreciate it.
Chris.
Thank you. Good luck to you. I hope is he planning to compete in this year? Best of luck to him. Is he a pro or he's still an amateur?
He should. If he's not competing, he should. That man's got a great physique and he's got a great personality.
Well, best of luck to him. I mean, like I said, I'm more a fan of the ladies, but I do expect these guys to be in the sport. So, one thing about this is like, your husband, you're married, and you've been married for a good while. Also, you have a son. What is that like for him, especially coming up? Did he ever go to the shows, and especially seeing his mom, in the little suit, and, around, I don't know if I could do it, guys sitting there looking at my mom and say, who's that hot chick there? So that's my mom. Hey, man, that's my mom.
That's kind of how he felt. No, that is how he felt. He's like, no, I cannot come watch you at a show. He goes, I'll beat somebody up. But no, my son actually, it was in 2021. He did 3 YouTube interviews with me where he had to do it for school project because he graduated with a bachelor's in media entertainment and a minor in film from Kennesaw State. And I go back and I look at those videos sometimes because it shows me getting up at the crack of dawn. It shows my day. It shows my prep. It shows my workout. It shows a lot. And it's special because he did it. And my son did the videos.
That's so quick, because I know I love my mom. My mom was my woman. She was my best friend. And as boys, our mother's our best friend. And I know he supported you. I know it's tough for him, to didn't want to go to shows because he didn't want to get in a fight with somebody because somebody is eye googling his mom. But it's good that he helped you out with your, with doing interviews and setting you up. I mean, that's good. And I hope he's doing well because I know we were talking a while back. He was going through some stuff, but I hope he's doing well.
He's doing really good. I'm proud of him. He's come a long way. And
Yes.
I'll have to say one thing that's funny though. He 2 weeks before not like a month before a show, he'd be like, Mom, when's your shows? What's the dates? Okay. I love you, but you're a bitch at that time. I'm gonna go stay with Dad.
What? Fuck that. This is one thing is
my son's
go ahead.
Doing very well. Very well.
I don't know. Me, my parents were together for 55 years, even though my dad lived in New Jersey. We're still down here in North Carolina. And to quote my other guy, my father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never liked it, not one bit. And I think I would want to stay with him. But, we made our peace as men. And, that's my dad. I miss him too. But, yeah, it's good that you have that support. Because sometimes this is what I learned with conversations with you ladies, that when you get to sport, things change your life, especially when it comes to friendships. Because family members don't understand what you're doing. I mean, because bodybuilding is such a very
my very close friends supported me. They even came to the shows.
Yeah, and that's good to still have those friends, like people like and those who are not even bodybuilders who still close to you. Because I've heard ladies telling me like they can't do what you like to do. Like if you want to go out and eat, and sometimes you got to bring your own food because we had the holidays. Thanksgiving to Christmas, just passed, and you can't, some would get a chance. They do get to eat after maybe after they do a show, but then when they're prepping, especially this close, because I think the end of February is the Arnold Amateurs, and the Arnold Classic is in March. And then you prep for those shows. You have to skip those times. You can't go and eat the turkey and the ham and the potato salad and you just can't eat those things because it can hurt your process and also how your body grows.
Yeah, like we do an annual girls trip, close friends out of Atlanta, and it's in March, and March was like starting to go into prep, and my friend Christine, she'd be like, Janet, it's time to eat. You got to eat. And I was like, you're right. And so I was in prep, even on the girls trip. I was in prep and they helped me stay in check. So I have a very good support group of friends. So
that's good. That's good. I think everybody, especially for you ladies, because There's so much involved in this sport. It can be, this is a can't sport. This sport is physically, mentally, emotionally, financially draining. You know, the
Oh yeah.
time you got to put into it, the sacrifices you have to make. I know there's times where, you know, you want to go, maybe you and Mike want to go out and have a nice dinner together, but then when you're prepping, you can't do that. Yeah. Like, especially you have a favorite food. Like when you were after the shows, what was that favorite thing? That thing that was calling you, Shannon? What was that thing that just, you know, we heard it, when you had it in your head and got opportunity, it was just, it made your mouth water.
That is a loaded bacon, bison, peanut butter cheeseburger and French fries. And
Mm.
I am and they say this is a Southern thing. I think it's a European thing because I am part European. My mother's German. Um, I just knew it from the South, and then I found out later on this went on in Europe. There I go, squirrel again. But I would dip my French fries, and I still to this day, when I eat French fries, I'm gonna have a side of mayonnaise.
You can keep mayonnaise. Ugh, ugh.
I'm sorry, I love my mayonnaise.
Don't be sorry. You know, ugh, I can't stand mayonnaise.
I don't like ketchup. I'm not a ketchup person.
Well, I like ketchup. You know, like one thing I used to do, like this used to do, like when I was in school, I used to take my, we had like lunch and we had burgers and fries. And I used to take my fries and put it with my burger. One time the teacher says, that's a good idea. I should do that next time I eat. Because hey, you don't have to sit there and you just eat the fries, the burger, you just put it all together. You know, everybody has their, you know, especially when I talk to you ladies, especially in this bodybuilding, what y'all are very much foodies, but the fact is, it's pretending what the food you eat. I know, often I hear like some ladies love sweets, burgers and fries. That's a typical word. I even had
Chocolate.
ladies tell me, yeah, chocolate. I even had ladies talk about sushi. Now, I've been poor, but never so poor to eat cold fish, raw fish too, you know.
I
But,
like raw
you know,
fish.
I don't like fish. I don't know. Not raw, not raw and cold, but, you know.
Yeah,
But, yeah, it's a lot to this sport that people understand.
it
You know,
is.
yeah, and it's tough, especially again to being a woman. You know, sacrifice you got to put in, the time you got to put in. You know, and you mentioned Trey Hodge being your former coach. I know he's trained some amazing people. One of y'all following who I've interviewed a
A
while
lot
back.
of competitors in the Olympia. A lot of competitors that have competed have trained under Trey.
Yeah, one lady I got to meet a while back, and also Ishina Olik. You know, she's one of Trey's clients. I met
Yes.
her because I went to my first bodybuilding show back in 2022. That was Savannah Pro. And it was a great experience for me because I got a chance to meet some bodybuilders before when I was starting doing this content. You know, a friend of mine, his name is Glenn Young. He has his own magazine, and he had an event with his, you know, premiering magazine. I was got to meet some ladies, and then to go to a bodybuilding show, and you know, I met Lena Popa there, and Annie Vecchio, and Donna Salib, and one lady whose name I do not speak. And it was just great for me. And actually, Andrea was there. She was guest posing with Mona Persilay. It was just me. It was just such a highlight in my life to see these ladies and men compete on stage. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm planning on. I hope I got a car in the shop. I got to see how much it costs. You know, it'll cost too much. I get it out, but if not, then you know, it's all my plans to wash. But I gotta respect what y'all do. You know, and like I said, there's so much time you got to put into this sport.
Like I said, sometimes, you know, I'm not going to say I don't miss it, but the reality of it is, okay, I'll tell you what. I have a big event coming up in April, okay? And I'm going to look good for that event. Am I going to do the extreme like I'm going to be on stage? No, but I know what to do, how to do it. If I wanted to look like I did on stage, I could do it. I will come close to looking like that, but I will not. It won't be the extreme where I'm like starving myself, but I know what foods go with my body. I know how my body reacts. I learned a lot about my body, and that's another thing. I did not get my personal training and nutrition certification really to go out and make a business out of it. I do have people that contact me that I do help, but I wanted to know the why also going into this sport. Okay, why am I eating this? Why am I training this way? Why? And I'm not questioning Trey or Mary, but why is my coach telling me to do something? I wanted to educate myself. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to know the why behind of you need to do this. So, but you know, my big stage debut is going to be in April. Not on the stage as competitor, but I have a big event that I'm going to be going to, and I want to look good for it.
You want to look fancy. You want to look nice. So like, hey, yeah. You know, your son be there too?
What?
Will your son be there?
No, my son won't be there. My son's in Myrtle Beach. He's up in Myrtle Beach,
Oh.
and I just saw him earlier this month, and he's doing very well. He's in the he works for a television company, and up in Myrtle, and he's in the gym. He's taking. I don't go in the gym at 4:30, 5 o'clock anymore. I'm still an early bird, but my son's in there around 5 o'clock every morning before he goes to work. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's taking after mom.
Yeah. I know Mike's gonna be there because you know that's my wife up there. So that's your wife?
Yeah, Mike's always by my side.
Yeah. You say that's your wife? Yeah. I say hey.
People come up to him. People come up to him.
It's good that you.
I mean, Mike's solid. My husband's big guy, solid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you ever think about competing himself, or you just say, "Nah, it's not me"?
He said, "Hell no." He said he'll never compete. He said he said the toughest thing he ever did was watching me compete, going through all of it. Seriously.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
tough.
the
I know.
hardest
It's
to
quite a.
watch.
Yeah, I
What's
know
that?
because there's couples who. I understand because there's like couples who are competing, you know, both in the same house. They might be prepped at the same time. That's dangerous. Sometimes one would say, you know, let me take a step back and let you do your thing. So we wouldn't
Right.
have so much like we would have to kill each other in the middle of prep, you know, because it's a lot. It can be a lot of strain physically, mentally, you know,
Oh
and you
yeah.
know, and I know ladies who have kids, you know, and they're prepping, you know, and sometimes your kids are eating chicken tenders and macaroni and cheese, and you're looking at that plate, and you look at your plate, you got quinoa and a piece of dried fish, and you're looking at you want to punch your kid in the face and eat his plate. But this is the thing people forget about bodybuilding. It's not about just the whatever drugs you use or what you work out. You have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. You know, motivation can go out the window. But if you're not disciplined, consistent, you're never going to develop and grow. And you know, as athletes change and evolve over time, you know, the looks change, difference. You know, judges what they want to see, and the work you got to put in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand what's involved in it.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I went to Tampa Pro this last year, and I'm looking at all these women on stage, and I'm sitting there going, what are they looking for? You know, who I would have picked is not who maybe the judges picked. You know, and then you come close going, yeah, I agree with them on this. And then sometimes I'm like, no, I don't agree with this. But I'm like, what are they looking for? And, you know, my hats go off to everybody that's still competing. Like I said, I have friends that still compete. I'll support them. They're in NPC, they're IFBB. My friends that are NPC, that are going for their pro card, I pray and hope and I support them. I hope you get your pro card. I want you to get your pro card. I mean, it's a big deal. And there's some people now, you know, switch gears, and I'm not going to get too much into it. There's some people that are IFBBs that said bye-bye to IFBB. They don't care. They have a bad taste in their mouth about it. You know, for whatever reason, that's not my beef. I really don't have a beef with them. You know, a lot of things are changing. You hear this, you hear that. I'm happy in the now, and it took a while for me to get to be happy now, because I went through, and I'll admit, I have body dysmorphia. I mean, if being a bodybuilder and then not be, you know, being a competitor, not being a competitor anymore, you go through that and it messes with your head. But I'm comfortable now in my own skin. Am I lean and all that? Yeah, I'm still I'm pretty lean. I mean, I'm lean. You know, I'm not lean like stage, but you can see the lines. Like I did legs this morning, and on the leg press, there's a mirror right there. I work out at Crunch in Lando Lakes, and where the leg press machine is, and I do do one-legged ones, and when you turn, I see my hamstrings in the mirror. I was like, yeah, I still got it.
Yeah, because
But it is. It takes a lot. It takes time, money. I say it's an expensive hobby. Dedication, your mentality. Everyone's like, oh, it's all about the gym. I first and foremost think it's 100%. You have to mentally get prepared to know that you have got to do what you got to do in the gym, and you know what you got to eat. You have got to do the diet. That's no bones about it. So it's a tough sport, and bodybuilding doesn't get the recognition that I think it should.
Yeah, because it's such a fringe sport for the everyday people. Like you look at sports like football, basketball. Super Bowl's gonna be next weekend. It's sad that I used to remember as a kid, you used to catch it on television. You used to catch it on ABC, ESPN, Fox Sports. You just show it. Now you're watching stuff like cornhole and throwing darts. I mean, it's like I said, it's more of it's as a friend of mine said, it's a poor man's sport because you're putting in more of it, getting out of it. And I think like this, for y'all competitors who are IFBB pros, you should get the benefits out of it. Like we don't come, we go when we go buy the tickets to see the shows. We're not going to see the judges or promoters. We come see y'all. And if anything, IFBB should take care of the athletes like any other sport. Like my friend, his name is Big Keith Williams. He played in the NFL. He still gets a pension. They take care of. They have a union. So if something happens, like you have things like if you get sick or get hurt, you have something that can help you out, like a 401k. If you want to say, I want to retire, I have this. But it's just
I have a
what we.
personal friend, yeah. Cal Daniels, he's a former MLB player. We both grew up in Warner Robins, and he gets a retirement, he gets a pension, he gets 401k. MLB took care of him, takes care of him. So yeah,
that's the thing. If bodybuilding was more one thing, I think if you can get mainstream companies involved in it, it might help it out a little bit. But the thing is, it's always going to be issue about the steroids thing, and and it's just that thing that kind of keeps the weight. Even used to be used to be CrossFit. It's popular, but I think it kind of stay away from that. Even you don't see as much on television like you used to. Here we got here from man Warrior. Shout out to Warrior. He's been sticking in here. Thank you, brother. He says, you look good regardless, Janet. Thank you, brother. And also, this is from a man KL. He says, I used to catch it on ESPN. Yeah, too. Yeah, I used to be on that. And guys, you saw a little flex earlier, so be cool. Put away your tissue and your lotion. You're good now, okay? Because sometimes, anytime I get guys are always like, you ask her to flex, can I ask her to flex? No, I'm not asking her to flex. I mean, she don't want to flex. Some ladies who are pros or competitors say, hey, they got to pose every other day. You got to see your check in, your coach. Sometimes you get tired of flexing. That's the thing is, there's that underlying fetish to you ladies. And as I call them, the beat the meat websites, because that's, the guys go on, they want to see y'all flex and do this, do that. But there's a lot more to the sport needs to be understood about it. Not just about.
If you want to see me flex, you can check me out on my Instagram, IFBB Pro Janet Bloodworth. Follow me on Instagram. There you can scroll through. I've got old videos. I've got pictures. I mean, I'm on there flexing a lot, believe me.
Yeah, that's why I say, guys, if you want to follow Janet, her links in the description of this live stream. You want to see the flexing, go to her IG and go to her other sites. You can follow her. I know you guys, you get excited when how these ladies on here, but that's why I say, guys, be respectful and be understanding. Here is from man KL. He says, I missed the flex, but it's all right. Well,
okay,
you can watch it.
I'll do it for you real quick. There you go.
There you go. Now you go, KL. Okay, you're good. You're good. Okay, put a relation in your tissue. You're good. So, but I pick on him. I know he's my brother. I love to pick on him. But like I said, there's a lot to the sport that people understand. And you as a person, like you said, you were a hairdresser. Now, what you doing now? Because you're since you're not, you know.
What am I doing now? Living life. As you saw in the video from 2019 being interviewed, my husband owns some franchises of Great Clips for Hair. And I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I'm misinvolved and all that kind of stuff, because I'm involved when I'm asked to be involved. Okay. I support my husband, and I will do the tasks for, how do I say it? So put it this way. Most hairdressers are women. Majority are women. Okay. There are men hairdressers, and they're fabulous. They're great. Okay. And we have some men that work for us. But sometimes when things need to be talked to woman, that's kind of where I come in. You know, I'll step in with that, because they'll feel more comfortable talking to me. You know, they don't have a problem calling me. And I've told them all the time, you know, our managers, our general managers, you can call me if you're not comfortable talking to Mike, my husband, who is the CEO president, of his franchise organization. I'm like, they call me First Lady. I'm like, you call me, go ahead, call me. Anything you need to call me about. And they have, and I talk to them, and I kind of, it's like, I'm at the level of helping out with management, you know, just if they need somebody to like vent to, or something they really need to talk to personally or something, they can call me. I'm kind of that, you know, I go where I'm supposed to go when needed. So that's my life. And I'm in the gym in the morning, and I have people that call me that want to hire me, you know, for, you know, nutrition, food, nutrition, meal plans, workout plans. So, you know, I got my, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, I'm all over the place. And crazy or not, I even told my husband, I said, you know what, I kind of miss doing hair, believe it or not. So that's, you know, I did it for 20 years and I was good at it.
Yeah, you sound like there was a movie years ago called The Professional. The guy says, "No women, no kids." That's what you are. You come in there, you know, like they call you in when they need to take care of business. They say, "Call on Janet, and she's a professional. She knows what to do." Yeah, it's good that you are doing something. You enjoying your life. You're training still, and just finding yourself a place. Because I know with a lot of bodybuilders, it's hard to transition into the real world. Especially when the sport it's like it encompasses their life. It's hard to not to work out and train. It's hard to as you mentioned just the body dysmorphia. They mix the shreds how their body grows. But that's about life. You have to walk away. I've seen ladies who I've been fans of and see them say, you know what, you still look good. Maybe not like you're not as buffed and ripped and shredded like you used to be, but you still look good. It's just like when I was at Savannah, Linda Murray, can you believe she's in her 60s? I think she's gonna be turning 63.
I love her.
Yeah. She still looks great. I mean, for her age. I mean, just amazing. Here we got here from a man, KA says beautiful. He's talking about the pose. Also, he says this, your new name is Janet Bloodsport. Also, we got here from a man, Sam Jr. says, I'm here for it. Damn, I'm late. We can catch you later, brother. You missed it. You can go watch it in replays. Also, we have here from a man, Ward 2000. Be cool. Put away your tissue and lotion. Yada, yada, yada. This is for everyone else, not me. Like I said, I don't bring tissues and lotion to the live stream. And my comments are just a compliment. Well, brother, I don't know what you do. You just say that. You might be, come on, you're here every time. I always pick on you, but especially you balls, warrior. And also, this is from Sam. He says, also a movie called Professional, I think. Yeah, it was years ago. It was I think Gary Oldman was in it. He played, the bad cop. He also played, one of the favorite Batman movies. He played Jim Gordon in the Batman trilogy. I love those versions because that's where I get my other guy from, the Dark Knight. But we're not going to hold Janet here too long. I know she's a busy lady. She got things she got to do. She's trying to talk with me. I know.
I'm going to try to convince my husband to go out so we can go eat sushi.
Ooh. Yeah, he's like, nah. It's Friday. I used to remember my old job. One of my old jobs, I only worked 4 days a week. I was off on Fridays. And I loved that. I got paid, on Thursday, and we was off on Friday. Sometimes mostly I was a homebody. I did have a night job when I worked part-time, but when I had Friday night, you had a good time, do what you want to do, have fun. But now I'm at the age where I'm 50 now, and I don't want to go nowhere. I'm gonna, after I'm doing this, I'm gonna cut some videos and cut this, and then jump in my bed and eat some chicken nuggets, and that's it. That's my night. I I don't want to do anything else. There's nothing out there. It's hard to find a woman. I live in a very small town, related to half the town, so not much to do. But as a woman in the sport, and you see how the sport has evolved, what would you want to see it go in a certain way?
What was that again?
What would you like to see bodybuilding go in a certain way? What would you like to see if you were competing, what would you like to see bodybuilding go, for your opinion?
Where would I like to see it go? That's kind of broad, so I'm gonna explain it the best I can. For women's bodybuilding, that division, I would like to see women's heavyweight, middleweight, lightweight, because you got all different shapes and sizes of women's bodybuilding, and I think it needs to be broken up in different categories inside the women's bodybuilding. Same for physique. To me, physique is women's lightweight bodybuilding now. I look scrawny next to a physique competitor. I would figure the same, a bikini the same, wellness the same. I think also too that they need to mix up the judges. I feel like, and I'm not knocking your veteran judges, because the veteran judges have been around a long time, but I think there needs to be some new blood, because I think, let me give you an example. I don't have anything against the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm tired of seeing them in the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? There needs to be some new blood. There needs to be some freshness. There needs to be some changes, because a lot of people say that it's political. I do agree with that. The bodybuilding world and the competitiveness, there is a lot of politics involved. That's another story. And there's other rumors of favors and all this kind of stuff, but I just think it needs to be revamped. I think there needs to be some new blood. I'll say it too. I look at some of these judges and I'm sitting here going, where's your credentials? I do. I look at them and I'm sitting here going, where's your credentials? Just like some people that are fitness trainers in some gyms, I'm sitting here going, where's your credentials? Like, okay, if I'm going to pay to do this and I'm going to compete and I'm looking like I do on stage and I'm looking down at a judge and the judge just looked like he left McDonald's and had 5 Big Macs. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it needs to be changed up and revamped. I'd like to see the bodybuilding world go into it. There needs to be some changes. It's to me, I think it's gotten a little stale and stagnant.
Well, Yeah, the thing is, I know it was a few years ago. They did have weight classes for women's bodybuilding. They had lightweight and heavyweight.
They should,
And
and they
then
should.
but they did drop that because they figured so much inconvenience of it. And
They
physique
do it
looks
for
like,
the
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Well, you have 212, you have that, and even that getting pushed out.
Yeah, and
But
the should get paid more. I mean, you have Mr. Olympia who makes $400,000, and then you have beautiful Miss Andrea Shaw who I think only gets 40,
50.
50. That's
And she gets
bullshit.
that at the Rise of Phoenix.
I'm sorry. We put in just as much work as the guys do. And I get it. I get it because like I said, there's a big controversy. There's people that don't even want women's bodybuilding because they're like, oh, they all look like men and they look gross and blah, 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 but some of them do look like men. Andrea does not look like a man. Angie O does not look like a man. Okay.
Oh, she's good.
And so she's a badass.
Yeah, I'm a
And
fan of
so
Andrew.
you still have women that are feminine and some that have lost their femininity. I mean, look at Margie. Margie still looks feminine. Margie's beautiful. And I just think it needs to be revamped. I really do. I'd like to see it go in another direction. And be a little bit be a little bit more fair, don't be afraid to see somebody that's just walked in off the out of the gym and they're an unknown and they look just as good as the popular ones. Give them give a look at them too, So yeah.
Well, my man Keith, he's from Kansas. He will have a disagreement with the whole Kansas Chief thing. He most definitely will. He goes to games. He goes to the games. He will have disagreement on that. I can understand that. Yeah, you want to see something different. You want to see more reputation, especially for the women, more opportunities. And, we always I say this. The men's division, men's open is always going to be the bottom bitch. The pimping game, the bottom bitch is always the one that makes the most money for the pimp. That's the main family of the pimps. And they're always going to get the big money. But y'all ladies, y'all deserve at least, I would say, if y'all get Andre at least $100,000, that would be nice. You $100,000 for Andre, $75,000 for Angela, $50,000 for Ashley, keep it to the top six. And even the thing, the promoters, they say the money is really what they get from sponsors or whatever, and especially do pro-ams because that's where they get the money from because the amateurs have to pay.
And majority of the sponsors want to give the money toward the men.
Yeah, and you have masters, a lot of older competitors. I know a lady, she's a friend of mine. She's 59 years old. Still competing, and and it's just about what they feel like can make money for them, what revenue can get out of it. With this new fit model thing, I think it might be big revenue. I hope they can transition into helping the other divisions. But here's my theory about that. Because it's going to be so deep like bikini, there's a good chance that they might push out women's physique or women's bodybuilding, both of them maybe. There's even talked about, like I saw this podcast with Steve Weiberger. And, he's talking with Frank Seppi. A friend of mine sent it to me. It was something with Dave Palumbo on his channel where he privatized it, where excuse me, talking about maybe cutting down to the top 15 for the Olympia. And excuse me, the rules keep changing. Yeah, I'm fine. I got a little. I was getting off a cold couple of weeks ago. Sick, I had a cough. It takes a while for it to work out. But yeah, it's just if they don't stick with the standards, if they're telling figure girls, we need you to be more bigger, fuller, then it's supposed to be like that. If they're telling the physique girls, we don't need that. And then some women don't want to go to divisions because they feel like if I go there, I'm not gonna maintain my femininity. But you're evolving as an athlete. You need to go someplace because no point staying someplace that you start placing out as well. You start going last. And you're just trying to either do this, either go up or pull back in your training to fit that division. Here we got from my man, Family Jr. He says, I agree with her. He also asked the question, says, what's the difference between wellness and physique? If you can't tell, I'm not going to explain it to you. You have to. Go ahead, you can tell him, because I'm not going to tell you. Because if you're not following the sport, I'm not going to tell you because if you don't get it,
You should, go find a YouTube video and punch in women's wellness. Women's wellness is a notch up from bikini, because bikini, they're still a little, they're, put it this way, they're at their glutes, their ass, and their legs. You can see the difference between bikini and you can see the difference between wellness. Both divisions are about the ass and the legs and the sass. Okay. You got to be sexy, sassy doing those two divisions. But wellness was created for these women that had more ass and legs. That was, I don't want to say loud, but allowed in bikini. It was too much. They had too much junk in the trunk for bikini. So they created wellness. And to me, I'm just like, wow.
Well,
They're gorgeous. I mean, the legs and the way they're shaped. Wow.
Yeah. Well, truthfully for me, wellness actually was popular in Brazil. They brought it in. It didn't grow like with figure, physique, and fitness and women's bodybuilding. It was brought in. Same like bikini, because Hawaiian Tropic, the Hooters companies, the pageant shows have them. I call those divisions, they're the teenage divisions, and also I see them as like invasive species. You lived in Florida, you know how, like creatures like iguanas and certain snakes are not indigenous to that area because people
Right.
have them as pets and they let them out. They live there, but they're not part of the area. As
Right.
no offense to the competitors, but the division is more of an invasive species. It's brought in because they want to look. And I think one thing, because Brazil is very much about the ass and the and the glutes. And that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, majority of them are Brazilian.
Yeah, because just recently the lady who won the Olympia, she's another Brazilian. Just swapped one for another. It's harder for women who are either. I'm surprised I thought more sisters would do well in this, but I don't know what's that. But it's harder for women who are maybe Anglo or Asian, because you don't have those. Black women, my sisters, you from the South like I am. Women, sisters have the hips and the booty and everything like that. It's just natural. And it should be dominating, but with the Brazilians they have it natural too, because they share Afro aesthetics, just like like us.
Right.
Here, this is from a man. He says, "Men, I meant." He says, and also he says, if more women supported, if they would make even more than the women. They was talking about, yeah. And also he says, Sammy, he says, it's supply and demand. That's true.
Yeah.
And this is from my man, Warrior from McKay. Says, give a female bodybuilder a sneaker and deal endorsement. I wish they would. I would love to see someone like Nike or Reebok or come in there. But the fact is that, again, it's always going to be an issue with the steroids thing.
Yes.
That's why it's. But hey, you had a whole thing where Jose Canseco and and Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire, but they will overlook that sport. And I do content on women in mixed martial arts. And as a mixed martial arts fighter, she's been busted for steroids twice. And she's not signed to another organization. She's with the UFC. It's just so easy to pick on bodybuilding compared to other sports. But like I said again, steroids, gear, pads, whatever, it's not the main part of the sport. If you don't stay consistent, you don't follow a diet, you don't work on a plan, you don't be disciplined, you're not going to go on stage looking like the Andrea Shaws or the Sarah Vilgas or any of those ladies or men up there too. You're just going to look like
and you're correct. You're absolutely correct, because you know what? Go ahead and let's say you take a bunch of steroids. If you don't do the time in the gym and this diet, it's not going to work. The steroids won't even work unless you put the time and the diet into it. That's just true. Fact.
That's true. Well, we do appreciate time that the lovely Mrs. Bloodworth gave us here, and shout outs to her, and best of luck in her future, and best of luck in the upcoming show you're going to be in. I hope you look good. You maybe send me some pictures. I'll post myself. I don't know. I don't know if I might be a little bit, but I do appreciate when ladies come on here and share your stories, and and really give an education to people who are maybe don't understand what it takes to be a bodybuilder in this sport. And I know there's days you're done with it, but it's always that back of the head where it's like,
you
never want to put, because you never really want to jump on that stage one more time and get in the posing suit. And I don't know, your son want to go and say, Mom, don't do it, because if I have to go to and see some guys look at you hooting, hollering, I'm gonna have to fight.
I mean, it's a time in my life and I enjoyed it. It is a selfish sport. It can be a lonely sport if you don't have a great support system. And I was very fortunate for my very close friends, my little cheerleader group up there in Atlanta, my husband, my son, and my friends down here in Tampa. I have a little cheerleading group down here too. They came and saw me to Tampa Pro, and so it's always going to be a part of me. And when people ask me, that I'm like, yeah, I'm a former IFBB pro competitor. So, and you can't take that away from me.
Yeah. This is my day. You can't take that away from me. This is my day. Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I had no idea you were going to bring up past videos and stuff. And yeah, that struck a chord. I got emotional, and yeah, it's I grew a lot from that, and I'm in a happy place now. I can honestly say I'm in a happy place.
Well, I'm glad I got you, even though it was a little bit, a little emotional, but I'm glad I got you a chance to go back to memory lane a little bit. This is why I do this. This gives me a purpose, because like I said, when my mom passed, I ain't had nothing else in my life. She was my life. And doing this content, talk to you ladies, it's great for me. I mean, to understand what it is to be I can never be a woman because I'm always going to be a man, but to understand what it takes to be any person in this sport. I've even had guys on here interviewed a couple here and there, and sometimes couples that compete as bodybuilders. But I get to learn something. What we makes y'all who you are. And that's why I like, I would like I said, I love having Dre on here someday. I love having Angela someday. But when I get to people like you, who have their boots on the ground, 10 toes down, who have been in the trenches, who have been back on the stage and working with these ladies and men, and who have come up and understand the facts that are involved in this sport, this is why I do this, to give y'all ladies a voice. No one talks about you as much, because one thing, my channel is still, I got over 2,000 subscribers. I know if I was talking about something else like the men like that, I get more. But this is why I like talking about you ladies, because y'all deserve that support. Y'all deserve that opportunity. That's why I make content and do stuff and this and that, because I'm a fan. And I just get to learn and I gain friendships out of this.
And you know what, George, I want to thank you again. And I have a good friend who he posts a lot of positive videos on Facebook and Instagram. And we're really good friends. And he told me, he goes, speak from the heart. And I felt like I spoke from the heart today. Because I talked to him a little bit, not talked to him, we messaged each other before I did this video. And I sometimes, when I feel down, I'll go and I'll watch his videos, because he's such a positive thinker. And he's former, he played football in Europe. And, when I really hear him, and he's like, when you do this today, speak from the heart. And just remember, somebody's watching out there that you could probably make a difference for that somebody. And I hope with this today, I hope I enlightened somebody. I hope I made a difference for somebody. I hope maybe I educated somebody. And anyone that's watching today or have watched, and if you feel the need to reach out to me, you want to ask me anything, feel free. I'm a sponge. I like to absorb, and I'm an open book.
Well, guys, if you want to, her link's in the description of this live stream. You can check her out, follow her, reach out to her, maybe make connections, friendships. It never hurts to help anybody, especially, like I said, again, like and sometimes I said,
I don't mind helping anyone. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, it never hurts to help. It never hurts to help. It's, everybody needs it. Sometimes I might say little things to some ladies I become friendly with, like maybe make them laugh or something that gives them inspiration. Because it never hurts because again, there's a lot to sport that can be really, really taxing. And if you don't understand that, then you just really gotta really feel for y'all ladies. Just any competitor get this sport. I know this guy, he survived having COVID-19, the
Wow.
Omicron variant. He just got his pro card last year. I interviewed both him and his wife, and he's planning on competing. And and I've ladies who have gone through stuff like abusive relationships and stuff like that. This sport has saved them. And and you never know. There might be somebody who's going through like you were going through, and then it's like, what? They watch this video. That's why I do this, because you might inspire somebody. Say, what? Maybe I want to get into bodybuilding, or just maybe get a little healthier, change my life. There's so much to this. The extreme part of it, it's one of the things that's part of the sport. But there's some good things to it. So like I said, I want to thank you again, and I appreciate
Thank
the time
you.
giving you. The quote from my man, my favorite movie again is the Batman Begins, the whole Batman trilogy. When Jim Gordon said to Batman, he said, at the end of the movie, says, "I never got a chance to say thank you." And Batman turned around and says, "You never have to. That's why I do this."
Aw.
So you got anybody you want to say shout outs to? Because I know your boy, your husband, anybody else?
Of course, my husband, my son, Curcio, Christine, Stephanie, Timbri, Jennifer, Michelle, Lee, Susie. There's some more. I'm trying to think. I can't. I have
And a partridge in a pear tree.
good support staff. Tamara. People ask me, they're like, and then we can, we'll cut it because I'll start getting emotional here. They're like, do you miss Atlanta?
Take a deep breath.
Do you miss Atlanta? And I'm like, let me put it to you this way. I'm a Georgia girl, born and raised, and Atlanta has a lot of culture, a lot of things to do up there. I hate the traffic. I don't miss the traffic. I miss the culture. I miss my family, and I miss my friends. You can take the girl out of Georgia, but you can't take Georgia out of the girl. And don't get me wrong, I love Tampa. I love down here. I've got a very good my friends here. I was naming all my friends back home. I have Stacy here. I have Roger here. I have Igor here. I have Lisa and Tim here. I have I have my core group of good friends down here too. So if I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
That's all right. They know who they are, because you know what? It's good that you have friends like this. I tell you, I've been living most of the same place. I've lived in the same apartment for 30 years. We lived out the country for 20 years. And and it's just hard to change your area. My niece lives in Atlanta. This is a true story. When I missed my train to go back to North Carolina in Savannah, she took 3 miles out of the way, take her whole uncle back home. And I appreciate that. But it's good that you have people like that in your life, be it your son, your friends, Janine, Tamri, all of them. Because it's like I said again, this is
Kathy, Chris in Texas.
Yeah. It's a tough sport.
Shane and Brandy, I forgot to
that's all right. You did enough. Usually, It's good that because I know bodybuilding can be. It's a very selfish, very emotional. But when you have people that stand in your corner and support you in this sport, that's a good thing. I mean, a lot of people may not have that, but it's good that you have those people who care about you, understand you, who are there, who've seen you through the hard times and the good times. Because you know what, there's so much risk in sport, but little reward. And other than maybe get a chance to go to Olympia or get your pro card, something like that. But this is
I've
a
been
sport.
a spectator there 3 years in a row. So it's a great event.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days, maybe if it comes back to Orlando, I might want to go. I don't know if I know a friend of mine.
Vegas.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he wants to fly me out to his show in Chicago. I don't know. I'm like Mr. T remember Mr. T from 18. You had to put some of my drinks. Say, hey, fool, I'm not flying no plane. But I'm tempted. I'm tempted because I wouldn't mind going to see him. He's a great guy. My man Keith, as mentioned, he went through a lot of stuff last couple of years. Just returned competing last year. I wouldn't mind seeing his lovely wife. She's an IFBB pro too, and I wouldn't mind seeing them. I probably might take him up on it, but. It's good to talk with you. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations on whatever come in your life. I want to shout out the people that was here. My man Ward 2000, Mr. Chris Bartlett, Balls Deep, KL the Wanderer, and Sammy Jr., all who came in here, who watched this live. Follow, subscribe, support my channel. Follow Janet in her path. Follow her. But guys, you know my rules. It's a lovely lady. She's nice. She's pretty. But guys, be respectful. No dick pics. You sick freaks. You sick freaks. So, and Jay, before I let you go, he has to come out. He has to say this. Oh, Janet, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful. I need to see a special somebody. I don't know. He completes me, but he just gives me trouble. I mean, but I digress. So I appreciate y'all for coming through. I'd like to say thank you, my guest, IFBB Pro, Mrs. Janet Bloodworth. Congratulations on whatever you do in this life, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Again, you're welcome. Anyway, you should always George Page, aka the Emperor of Fear and Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Have a good evening, good night, good luck, and God bless.